welcome back to the channel. This is Ryan Aranda here, my best life Paraguay. And today we're going to be going over what just happened. It's nighttime here in Paraguay. The sun's going down, and I came across this news about Charlie Kirk, very well known, I guess, right-wing influencer. Right, was just assassinated, so he's no longer on this earth, and he was shot through the neck. And yeah, so you guys are probably seeing this all over your YouTube or headlines or whatever you guys are looking at. And yeah, we'll get into it. I'll say what I have to throughout the video until the end. But you know, in general, before I guess we get started, America is an extremely violent place, and America's a very degenerate place. You know, one thing I actually do have to give it to for Charlie Kirk, no matter if I agree with him or not, you know, which I'm not going to clown around right now, right? Because it's pretty heavy for a lot of people, especially for people who have an online presence, right? People might not agree with me at a certain point. Am I anywhere near Charlie Kirk's numbers? No. But you know, with growth comes more eyeballs, which comes more hate, right? And you know, so you know, this is it could happen on either side of the aisle for sure. There's nutbags everywhere, and you know, one thing I have to give it to Charlie Kirk is he really put himself out there, like literally. You know, when he would, no matter if you agreed with him or not, he would put himself out there literally on college campuses and other places to do debates, right? And a lot of people only ever stay behind their screens, right? I really like to get out. You know, I'm doing this reaction video from my place, but I like to get out into the world and into the country in Paraguay and interact with people. Right. And so I totally understand that aspect of Charlie. And that's kind of where he got known. Right. You know, he was that person who stuck himself out there in that regard. OK, I'm going to stop, and then we're going to get in this MSNBC segment about what just happened and get into it.
Vaughn, let me interrupt you, Vaughn, but please stay on the line. Donald Trump has just posted on his social media platform, Truth Social, the following, quote, "The great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife, Erica, and family. Charlie, we love you." Again, Donald Trump, President Donald Trump, just posting on his social media platform news that Charlie Kirk, conservative activist, has died in today's shootings. Vaughn Hilliard, your reaction.
This is not a good moment for us as America, for our engagement and our ability to have very difficult discussions. This is somebody who was a father, a husband, somebody who I think that we must note at this moment in time, Nicole, was there today on a college campus inviting people to take a microphone and debate him. And this is somebody who welcomed, you could call it an exchange of thoughts, you can call it a debate, you can call it what you want, but this is somebody who took a microphone today and was shot while on a college campus engaging in the First Amendment right to be able to speak freely. And he was targeted. And this comes a year after Donald Trump was targeted and nearly killed. This comes a month after Melissa Hortman was assassinated in Minnesota. This is it's a difficult moment to immediately react to, Nicole. I will say that where we find ourselves as a country here over the last 10 years is one in which the bitter division of our politics has led to a rise in violence. And I just hope and I pray for the loved ones of Charlie Kirk, for the president, for his family, for the vice president, for those in the cabinet, for those aides, for those people at Turning Point USA, for those candidates around the country that campaigned with Charlie Kirk and got to know him. This is on a human level a bad, awful, horrific day for us as an American, as a country. And I will say that Charlie engaged with journalists. Charlie was somebody that pushed the envelope of what his political party should be. And we don't know the details and the facts of the shooting, other than Charlie Kirk is no longer with us and has been killed. And yeah, Nicole, I'll toss it back to you, other than to just say that this is an administration and not just a movement, but our politics that has been really wrecked today, an extension of what is an increasing politically violent country.
Violence isn't politics. Violence is something else entirely. And I wonder if you think, Chris, that we're capable of dealing with the violence at a moment where our politics is so badly broken.
I think it's going to be a real challenge. And I mean, I can give you the history of terrorism as an asymmetric tool in the modern era. Really started in the 1850s with the anarchist movement. And it was replicated because it demonstrated that getting to leaders was possible, and eventually ended with the assassination of the Tsar of Russia, Alexander III, President McKinley, and continued. And they learned from each other. Different groups learned from each other. You look at school shootings, the copycats, people understand that this is possible, and it's something that they want to do themselves. Well, in political violence, if you cannot get to, say, a political figure that has a security detail, but there's somebody equally polarizing, he's accessible. That's probably why they went after him instead of maybe somebody in government who might have a security detail. And it remains to be seen. But the other underlying factor is the polarization in American society. When the far right defines people on the left and immigrants as invaders and not fellow citizens as the enemy really destroying society, that's problematic. And then on the flip side, people on the left are defining people on the right as the others and fascist, authoritarian, and that's how we're looking at each other. Political violence is inevitable, and my concern is that this is going to become an increasing trend, like we saw at other periods of tumultuous times in the United States.
Yeah, I'll agree with that last guy. I don't know who that was, but I'll agree with him there. I mean, we're so divided that, sadly, this doesn't even surprise me, to be completely honest. Like, not this particular person. It could be pretty much anybody, but it doesn't really surprise me. And I think it's kind of what he was saying, like, it's a lot harder to get to, and Trump will have CIA detail, guarding him. So it's, theoretically harder to get to, a president, or I think Congress, or at least senators have, protection as well. Right. So then, yeah, I guess the people with the biggest voices are going to be targeted after that. And on all sides, yeah, there does need to be more humanity and understanding. I know that they're immediately, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of had a knee-jerk reaction to be like, well, where do people stand on the NRA about this issue? But honestly, like, this guy, it looks like he had the person who assassinated Charlie looked like he had like a handgun anyways, which you can get anywhere in the U.S. Or on the black market extremely easily. And so like that whole like NRA thing wouldn't even be really truly relevant. If anything, it actually would be more of a mental health thing, which then again, mental health services are not available to the masses because we don't have anything, like that. We don't have universal health care or anything, or even a single payer option or anything like that. So, you know, immediately people will be like, oh, mental health, this guy would just needed more mental health or whatever. Right. And then there's a poor, so yeah, it's just so messy, man. This is so messy. And we're so broken in the United States. Like, we're divided, yes, but our institutions aren't there to help people. What if this dude maybe was seeing a therapist and confessed to his therapist, or maybe went to church and confessed to his priest, like, I have these urges of wanting to take somebody's life, right? It could have been stopped in its tracks, right? But since people are in the U.S., we don't, I mean, not close to God, not close to, religious institutions, and then we don't even have any kind of physical health or mental health care available to you, without paying a bunch or having access to it or whatever. And I don't know this guy's situation, right? But I'm just saying in general, right? I mean, this goes down to kids when it comes to even school shootings and stuff. Like, there needs to be more access for them to have, access to healthcare, man. It shouldn't depend on what your family has, and all these different levels of this kid has this care and this kid doesn't have this care, or or whatever, and yeah, man, I don't know. The U.S. is just an extremely violent place, really, truly. So anyways, before I say any more, let's get to, I want to see what Cenk says. I used to be a big TYT member myself, right? And I met Cenk in person. I know he's gonna. Before I even see this, I know he's gonna condemn it, obviously, and I do too, you guys, right? Again, it doesn't matter where I agree with Charlie Kirk, and I'm not even gonna try to say anything slick or sly or anything like that, because I know that a lot of people are gonna hurt, even if I did feel the urge going down that rabbit hole and pointing out the hypocrisies of some Republicans or whatever. It's not that time. And anyway, so let's just hear what Cenk has to say.
Shot. He was in Utah giving a speech at a college, and unfortunately, I just found out that he's passed away. It is beyond tragic. It's disgusting. It's terrible. It's the worst thing that has happened in American media and politics in a long time. So this violence is not the answer. It is the very worst possible answer. We don't know who did it. And if some of you might have seen an older guy getting dragged away by the police, it turns out they released him. He's not the guy. So they haven't caught the guy yet, but I can't believe he passed away. I can't believe it. So he's gone. And
they haven't caught the guy yet. I was actually going to bring that up in another clip. I thought that they did catch an old guy. Okay, apparently it's not the old guy. Wow. So there's somebody on the loose? That's insane, dude. That's insane. I could see a person getting... It was a huge crowd, right? I can bring it up in a second here. But wow, that's insane. Okay. Before I end this video, we'll see if there's any updates on if they caught the guy.
Violence is surrender. It's saying that you can't win in the battlefield of ideas. What a terrible, terrible message to send. And that you have to be barbaric, and you have to be violent, and you have to be a savage, and you have to just shut that person down physically because you can't defeat them with your ideas. What a cowardly form of surrender. What a disgusting thing to do. How deeply immoral. This is a terrible, terrible day.
And you know what else too is anybody who's really against some of what Trump is doing. This is really bad for the opposition against Trump, right? Maybe some people won't make that connection or whatever. You don't like Trump sending in the National Guard to all these cities or etc. You may not like that stuff, right? But this is gonna hurt that. Guarantee you, this is gonna hurt that. And yeah, it's only going to make us more divided. I completely agree with Jank. Yeah, violence is not the answer, you guys. It's really not. You know what is one answer though? Uh, is moving abroad. Seriously, and I'm not even clowning around when I say that. Like getting away from the violent, unpredictable, messy, divisive United States of America. A lot of okay. So where I really align with the right wing is when it comes to traditional styles of living, right? Uh, you know, I agree with equal effort, but I'm complete. I do actually believe that a man and a woman, and one of the most successful households is where the lady is able to stay home and take care of the children, right? I might even get backlash for that, right? And I consider myself somewhere in the middle, I guess, and independent these days. So, I actually do agree with quite a bit of people, I guess, who are aligned on the right when it comes to that kind of thing, right? And because it is proven and to have healthy outcomes for your kids and your family, right? And not to mention the astronomical care for child care, right? So I mean, people are coming to that conclusion anyways, right? That one person, most likely the woman in the relationship, should stay home. I mean, it makes sense economically, but it also proves to have good outcomes, right? For your children, right? So, anyways, I know that was kind of a tangent, but so like wherever you're trying to guess where I'm at, I'm very somewhere in the middle, I guess, when it comes to like that kind of thing. And I also, I don't like to date modern women. I mean, nobody does. Nobody on the left does. Nobody on the right does. I guess maybe some people on the left don't even know that they are dating modern women, because what I mean by that is, I mean, like, the arrogant, selfish, I don't need no man. I'm better than a man. Man needs to do everything for me, and I don't need to do anything for a man. That kind of attitude. You know what I mean? Not every woman in the States is like that, but far too often, and I would even say the majority are, especially for younger millennial and Gen Z. Right. So anyways, so I completely agree with that sentiment. Right. So, and I believe also just deeply that, healthy families. So looking for the right outcomes that allows you to have a healthy family is good for the family, the community, and the country as a whole. That's what Paraguay is, right? It's a young country, a lot of families, people are closer to God. People are have a better community, big family life. I was just at my cousin's birthday party yesterday, and I like we had like 3 different birthdays in the last like 3 weeks. Right, that doesn't even happen in like 1 year in the U.S. for me, right? Besides immediate family, but I'm talking. This is like extended family for me, So okay. I know that was a tangent, but like, it's just, and this is what a big problem in the U.S. is, right? A lot of men can agree with what I just said. A lot of people can agree with what I just said, right? But since we're on the left or the right in the U.S., it's all like, no, well, I don't like you, Ryan. What are you, a fascist, Ryan? What are you, misogynistic fascist, Ryan? No, I'm just a guy who sees what works, and and so, I think that moving abroad to get away from a lot of this nonsense, to stop engaging in this nonsense, and stop living in such a violent country, not only violence, but an unpredictable violent country. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know if you're going to go to the mall and get shot up. I know I can go to the mall here in Paraguay and not get shot up. Not in the U.S. though. You know what I mean? You're on this like high state of alert. Right. And then especially if you're somebody known like Charlie Kirk, and then, my channel keeps growing and, I'm not in the US or whatever, but it's like, wow, man. Wow. Okay. Let's finish off what Jank has to say.
because so not only do I know Charlie, and you could say, hey, he said bad things in the past. Who cares? That's not the point today, okay? It doesn't matter what people said. You never do violence. Never. That's the exact opposite of being a progressive. It makes no sense at all. We're against violence. If you do violence, you're not one of us. You're disgusting, you're immoral, and you're deeply counterproductive. Anytime one side does violence, it makes everyone else hate them, rightfully so. So none of our side should ever do that. Plus, he's a human being. I met him and his wife behind the scenes, etc. They're human beings, no matter how much we agree or disagree with anyone. This is just terrible. Guys, this is going to lead to worse and worse violence. I hope to God it doesn't. I hope that America regains its senses and gets back to peace and civility. But this is not the way. This is terrible. I feel awful for Charlie's family, obviously for Charlie. Stop all of the violence. This is the problem. This is not the way to solve it. So it's an absolutely tragic day, and my heart goes out to his entire family. I'm so sorry that this happened to anyone. I just can't believe it. All right, guys. Please, everyone, nothing but good thoughts and prayers for Charlie's family. Charlie Kirk has been shot. He was in Utah.
Yeah, and especially, yeah, I don't know where his wife stands on anything, but especially his kids, man. Kids, you know, he has kids, so they're going to suffer, man, you know? And now they don't have a dad. So now they're going to grow up with a single mother and a widow. I actually shouldn't. I need to make that distinction. A widow, not a single mother by choice, right? And so, yeah, it's only going to cause more division. It's only going to cause more strife and more everything like that, you know. So it's pretty crazy stuff, man. Really, truly, and I don't know. I guess I agree with Cenk that, you know, the moment that you stop using words, the moment that you stop trying to make an argument and you start resorting to violence is when you lose everything. Right? I mean, whoever shot him is going to prison. I don't know what state this is. Utah, I think they were in. So maybe death penalty. I don't know. Probably not, actually. But, you know, so, I mean, you screw yourself over. I mean, you screw anybody else who has any connections to you over. Obviously, the person's life who you took, and then their family. And then, you know, Charlie has a huge following, so it's only going to make people more divided. And, you know, it's the same thing that I said to when Trump there's the assassination attempt on Trump. I was like, look, all you guys who are cheering this on, this could easily be against one of your beloved politicians. Easily. You know what I mean? So it's not that time, man. You know what I mean? You know, maybe in the days and the weeks we can talk about the policies to make sure that this hopefully doesn't keep happening, right? Whether it be security, whether it be changes to gun laws, whether it be mental health and actually getting people health care. Like there's room to talk about that later, right? But for now, yeah. A guy lost his life. I just want to see how old Charlie. I'm 34, so 31. Okay, a couple of years younger than me. Was born in 93. Okay, I was born in 91. Yeah, man, that's not good. That's not good. You know, living to 31 years old, you guys. I mean. Me personally, I know that he had a very successful career and all that stuff, but you want to live at minimally double this, you know what I mean? And so, yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. I don't like a lot of these guys, dude. Ben Shapiro's a weirdo. I hate Candace Owens. You know, like, I actually didn't know much about Charlie Kirk. But yeah, he's 31 years old, man. It's far too young. He's leaving a family behind. That's insane, dude. Really, truly. I don't think we need to go into anybody else. Kyle's, nah, we don't need to go into this. You guys get the picture. And the U.S. is just out of control, man. It really is out of control. Trump policies are out of control, but also this kind of stuff. This is almost the equivalent of what is it? The Hamas when they invaded Israel, right? And then they did a terrible thing and took hostages, Israeli and international hostages, right? And now after that, this is where it comes the response, right? This is where it comes the response on a federal level. Also, people on the ground on the individual level. Families are going to be even more divided about something like this. People are going to be more divided. And it's just going to continue the endless cycle of divisiveness, right? Now, you guys know one of my solutions for a lot of things in life. That's spending every single waking moment that you possibly can to try to get outside of the United States of America. Doesn't make you any less American, right? And yeah. So anyways, you guys, I know it's different from most of my content. I know I do some of these reaction videos. I probably actually will, going forward, doing some more reaction videos. It's important to take a look what's going on in our countries of origins, because it greatly affects us abroad and the way that we're viewed abroad. Maybe not this particular story, but just in general, and especially America. If you're traveling and relocating around the world in America, everybody knows our politics, man. Everybody knows how crazy and divisive they are. So, and you need to be well aware of your new country's sentiment towards Americans as well, right? I'll touch on another video. Okay, you guys, I'm out of here. Ryan Aranda, my best late Paraguay. I don't know, man. I don't know. I guess thoughts and prayers. And I don't know, man. I don't know. If anything, okay, actually, let me not even do that. Let me not do that. Those of you who have loved ones in the States, those of you who are physically able to hug your loved ones, have conversations with them, have conversations about the realities of the world, about where the States is going, hug them, have real conversations with them, and make sure that you guys aren't creating division within your own families, right? More so than what needs to be discussed intellectually, right, around the dinner table. Okay, you guys, I'm for real out. Ryan Aranda, my best late Paraguay. I'll see y'all in the next one. Take care of yourselves. Peace.